Let me just send this post out because I forgot to schedule it instead. Do not disturb on, and let me text Johnny to just call whenever he's ready. Alright. So we'll open the game 2. I have my laptop here for things. Hopefully everything works out. Maybe I should update those 3 mods at some point. I'll think about it. I still don't know how to make the music like any quieter on the title screen. It's really, really loud. Anyways, hopefully Johnny will be here soon and then we can start. Otherwise, I might go downstairs, see if I need to wake him up or anything. Or we'll change the stream category. Text him one more time just to see what happens. But yeah, Stardew Valley expanded. Just wait for people to get here in chat. I want to catch the puppy fish so bad. I barely remember where we left off. Maybe I should go wake up Johnny. Let me go get Johnny. Let me go see if he's up for stream today. I'll be right back. Leave a little message in chat real quick, actually. Hope people will see that. What the gene? Okay, so I don't think Johnny is waking up. But we do have at least one special guest today. There's Jimmy again. Okay. Alright, well, I think we're gonna end up moving this to Thursday. That's fine. So I'm just gonna close my laptop here because we won't need these wiki pages until then. Yeah, I usually say the Stardew streams are on Tuesday because, one, it's Johnny's day off of work, two, Johnny usually closes the store, so... well, I'll just exit that real quick and change the stream info. Alright, stream info updated. Let's see. One of these is my drawing tablet. There it is. I'll open that up real quick. Open up YouTube too. Let's find some music real quick, huh? I've got a little Jimmy man on me. Been obsessed with the Pokemon Mystery Dungeon soundtrack lately, but when am I never not obsessed? Let's see. What track list do I want to put up right now? I don't know, let's do some... Let's put this back on. Alright, well, here we are. Maybe if Johnny wakes up, we'll play for a little bit, but I don't know if he's going to get up, so we'll see what happens. In any case, I can open up my creator dashboard too. I'm glad the stream bitrate is looking good too. So, I mentioned online that I had a little bit of problem with the, what's it called? There was a fire outside. That's right. There was a fire outside. Not directly outside my house, but like, it looked like it might have been in the neighborhood. And we thought maybe it was a house. So my dad had gone over to check it out, see what was going on. Nothing was... not that nothing was going on. There was a fire. It was not a house. I think the fire's been put out by now again. When I walked outside and saw that, I was like, uh-oh. It was like, oh shoot, that's not good. And my biggest concern about that was it is windy today. Like, it is pretty windy today. It's not like nearly as fast as it was like a few weeks ago, but still pretty bad. For like, you know, it was a lot of smoke, and I was like, oh man, that might be... that could get worse. So, but I heard sirens out in the distance. There was a lot of them too, so they put it out pretty quickly. It was like I took Butters out for a bit, and then I took Jimmy out, and within that time frame of me switching which dog was outside, the fire had gone down substantially. By the time I got Jimmy back inside, that fire was... the smoke was no longer dark, it was very white, so I was like, okay, well, that probably means it's, like, mostly out already. And this isn't the first time, like, there's been a fire, like, startlingly close to my house. When I was back in high school, there was a okay, so I've like mentioned I kind of live next to a forest. It's kind of like a mix between like a forest and a swamp, because like the river flows, but it's not like a super fast flow. It's like fairly like slow moving, but the trees around it are very like reminiscent of a forest, so I just call it a forest because I don't know what else to call it. And someone had set like a fire in there, and it was huge, and all of us were just like there like, bro, what the hell. Thankfully it never, I don't think it got to any of the houses, at least it didn't get to the houses in my neighborhood specifically, so that was a bit of a relief. That one time? Ooh, drawing time, yeah. It was supposed to be Stardew today, but Johnny is asleep, and I don't think I'm waking him up. Like, you know how it goes, so we're working on art. We're working on the last art raffle prize here, for the holiday stuff. Can you? I still can't believe 2 people with like the username Kira won like the last holiday art raffle. That's like such a funny, quirky little thing. Yeah. Fire. The fire outside my house is gone. My neighborhood isn't about to burn down, which is good. I was a little worried because again, the wind. It's windy season right now. I'm not sure what caught on fire though. I'm gonna have to ask my dad. Like, Dad, what happened? Oh, my mom texted me. Mom just is like, you guys want to go get lunch in Cerritos? I'm like, give me a few hours. Maybe I'll end like a little bit early, just so she's not waiting too long. Maybe like 1:30 instead of 2:30. I think that's fair. Yeah. Stardew Valley expanded. I was looking forward to play today, but it's alright. Johnny did close last night. It's just I thought he went to bed like right away. Because he didn't, I don't think he came to my room. He usually does after work. Like, I know on the Thursday streams when he comes home after closing, he's usually there for a bit. And then I'm up a little bit later than I should be, but it's fine. I'll probably move to Thursday, because he's actually only closing Sunday and Monday this work week. So he'll be here Thursday night, so I think that should work out. Anyways, more relaxing art stream. Oh, Butch! I just realized. I don't know if you were here that one time I showed off Jimmy, but let me move my camera down a little bit. Pardon the mess in my room if froze. Up. It doesn't like it when I do it. Okay. I see how it is. Wow. The camera is being very mean to me. I have a little man sleeping on my lap. I don't want to move him because he's sleeping. If he starts moving though, I'll probably put him down on the floor to leave him outside my room. Because when I went to go wake up Johnny, he was, what's it called? He was just there. Actually, what if I turn off my camera and then point it to the dog? Yeah, let's do this. Yeah, look at him. He's so sleepy. He's just on my lap. He's so cute. Senior dog. He's like 13. He's just a eepy little man. We got 4 viewers from Jimmy. You guys want the camera down here while I draw. I'll try my best. Let me move my keyboard. It needs to like... Oh man, how is this gonna work? Let's see. Oh, Pupper, yeah, he's very cute. Hello, Shunky, welcome. We have Johnny is asleep today, so we're actually not playing Stardew. But we do have at least one special guest today. We'll put the camera on him until he starts getting antsy and decides he wants to leave. Yeah. How am I gonna draw? 'Cause... Oh, shoot. Oh, shoot. I've knocked everything over. But I want the camera on him because he's so funny. Oh. It might be just chatting for a little bit. I can't figure out how I'm gonna get my tablet down here without knocking everything over. Yeah. Well, probably, it was supposed to, might be old, but they're still a baby. He's always gonna be such a baby. He's so spoiled, and he deserves it. He walks around the house like he's owed something. And you know what? He's right. I can't even, like, be upset at him for that. Oh, look at him. Look at this little man. Yeah, this is Jimmy. I wish Butters could be on stream, but Butters isn't allowed upstairs. He would need like his own camera. And I don't think my family would appreciate me putting cameras around the house. Oh. You wanna get up? You wanna get up, Jimmy? Maybe I can draw like this. But, yeah, today was supposed to be Stardew Expanded. Johnny is asleep though, that's okay. So we're just gonna work on art today. I'm gonna get this last raffle prize out, and looking forward to it. Not that I don't like working on the raffle prizes, but it will feel good to start drawing for myself, like, again, after a few weeks. Is all. Like, it's gonna feel really nice to get a lot of the priority art out of the way, because if I look at my backlog, the way I do my backlog is anything that's in purple is just like personal stuff that I like want to work on, and they don't really have like a hard like limit for myself, or time limit, I guess, due date, stuff like that. But the stuff that I write in red, those are my priority stuff. That's reserved for like announcement graphics, commissions, raffle. Oh, he's sleeping on my hand. If there's you know, it's tough right now because he's decided that my hand is where he's going to put his butt. You wanna, oh, there he goes. There he goes. Let's do this. Let's make that a little bit bigger today. Look at him, he's so sleepy. He'll probably get too warm eventually. But yeah, a lot of my backlog as of late has been just the red ink stuff. So that's the priority art. And there's been a lot of it, to say the least. So I haven't actually drawn like stuff like for me in a bit. Like, yeah, I've been sketching that Stardew comic with my little Sona and Elliot. But, that's different. I've only been sketching it so far is the thing. And, surprisingly enough, sketching is probably, like, one of the things that, like, takes the biggest toll on my wrist. Because, you know, with, like, ink, I'm way more loose, I'm way more, like, I'm gonna let the pen do, like, most of the work here. And not my wrist. So, that's been acting up a little bit again, but it's like, I think it's almost done. If I look at the script and I think about how I'm gonna like lay out the pages, I'm pretty sure it's gonna be like 9 or 10 pages, which is nice, because anything more than that, my longest comic thing was 9 pages, and I'm like, oh boy, like in my head, just oh. I'm like trying to draw. My tablet is like so far away, I can't see what I'm doing. Or I can see what I'm doing, but you know how like when you hold screens like at an angle, you can't really see like the colors all correctly? That's what's happening right now. Yeah. If people really like Jimmy, I'll try and see if I can get him on stream more often, but he doesn't really like hanging out in my room. It's just when I went downstairs to go take out Jimmy, like I opened the door over there, and he was just standing outside my room. I don't know, like he follows me downstairs, but he doesn't go all the way downstairs. He just stops at like that sort of like middle landing, and he stops at that middle landing. So I'm on my way back upstairs, and hello. Do you want to go down now? Oh, bubbies. Oh, bubby chubby. He's so cute. Anyways, he didn't go all the way downstairs. He was waiting for me at the landing. When I started going back upstairs, he followed me. So he wants to be upstairs right now, but everyone else is downstairs and not paying attention to him. So I'm like, okay, you're gonna be on stream today. That's exactly why I decided not to do a comic. It's so tough. It is tough. It is tough, but it's fun, honestly. I've got 3 pending whips already. The only one is only one that was a top priority. The other 2 are just for fun. Yeah, exactly. Like, prizes and stuff for other people, that's priority because it's like, you know, I should probably get that out first instead of like working on like everything else, because the other stuff can wait. The prizes can wait, but not as long. So, trying to get through this today, because I'm going to look forward to being able to like focus on like more personal projects, and of course, the stuff that I want to sell at conventions. I do want to talk about like comic work though. I had a whole thing, like, not a whole thing, just like a quick like thought that I tweeted a day or 2 ago. Making a comic is just so like interesting to me. It's like it's kind of crazy how like I have like my script, right? I have my script that I've been like going through. I have it written out on my phone. It has like all the dialogue. It has like all the things that I think I'm supposed to be drawing, like all the movement that's happening, all the like the kinds of facial expressions. But like the interesting thing is that like you can have like 2 lines of dialogue take up an entire like page. Like that's so maybe cool is the wrong word, but that's so like interesting to me that like it works out like that. I think one of the only things though that's like getting me through like the comic work is just like, okay, well, most of the time you're focusing on the faces, so it's not too terrible. Like, it's not like I'm drawing half body or full body all the time. And I have done like the big posters. I mentioned maybe last week on stream that one of those streams, I did mention that like the big posters that I do are really good like endurance training in a sense, because it's like, well, if I can do this, I can do significantly less anyways, so the work suddenly doesn't seem all that bad. But if you ever wanted to get into comics, that's my advice. Draw a lot on one thing to the point where if you did comics, it's like, wow, the workload is way less than I thought it was, or it's gonna feel like that at least, because you've already done something that was like way bigger. Oh, look at him. Look at this sleepy little man. Oh, he's so cute. Jimmy? How are you today, Jimmy? He's like, I'm so sleepy. I'm so sleepy. I'm the sleepiest little man there ever was. I like to do voices for my dogs because I think it's funny. Oh. He's awake. Hi, Daco. Hi, Kira. Hello, Kira. We're actually working on your art raffle prize right now. It's just a little tough because I got the dog on me and my drawing tablet is usually on my lap. This is Jimmy. I've done some comics before. It took like a week for a page. Yeah, exactly. It's a lot lot. When I did my 9-page Baldur's Gate 3 fanfic comic, I was doing like 1 page a week, or posting 1 page a week. But thankful, I got through it specifically because how did I do it? A lot of it was just like close-ups on the faces, which was nice, and the backgrounds were super simple, and I took extreme like care to make sure I was drawing like both Aerie and Astarion in like the simplest outfits ever. So it worked out. I think I could stand to get a little faster. I do want to practice because I do want to make a webcomic one day. But yeah, Johnny also offered to do the line art for me for the Stardew one, and I'm like, that's great because I am not sure what I would have done otherwise. He's so sleepy, guys. What if we just sat here and chatted and while I pet my dog? I can tell you about my dog. He's a very, very entitled little man. I think I once did a comic all traditional for an old friend over a decade ago. Don't think she has it anymore, and I haven't done one since. They're not easy. They're really not easy. I have mad respect for anyone who does it, because it's so important to like have things consistent, and then it's so important that like you keep all the shots interesting. Let me see if I could pull up the pages that I've already done. I want to like show them off, because the thing that's a little bit daunting for me is that I want to post this like all in one go, because the one time I tried doing it like weekly on socials, it didn't really like do that well. And I know I shouldn't be like focusing too hard on like on like numbers and stuff, because I've just found that I'm a lot happier when I set the bar low for myself. And you know, pleasant surprise whenever I get like 5 likes on a post and a retweet. So let's see. Display capture. Here we go. And let me move the face cam. No, move the face cam just a little bit. So, I guess this is cool because I did want to like. I was wondering if like talking about like comics and how to make them would be an interesting stream topic. I wasn't sure if we were gonna do it, but like, I guess I'm getting into it today regardless. It's weird to explain because the way I do comics, I don't know how other people do it. Like, I recognize there's like a huge visual element to it, and a lot of the time you're going to be like imagining it in your head. But when it's in your head, the real question is like, what do the pages look like? How does the paneling go? How do the face, you know, things like that. For me, when I imagine stuff like this, like in a story, it's like I can really, really see it as like an animation. So, I guess the way that I kind of go about it, it's almost like it's like storyboarded in a sense. Like, in my head, it's, Jimmy. Okay, I'm sorry the headphone wire was on your head, okay? Mad as hell, Bubby. Anyways. Oh, I lost my train of thought. Little stinky man. Anyways. So in my head, it's like very animated, like little like stories like this, even like the really like small, dumb, one-page ones that I had in mind. It's very like, it plays out like an actual like short film in my head. So what I like to do is I like to take like the really like important shots of said like the shots of the short film, so to say, and use those as like the comic panels, if that makes sense. So it's very much like I tried to make this as like cinematic as possible. So it's like you'll have like a little bit of opening dialogue here. This is sort of like an establishment shot, and then of course I'm like holding on to like the 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 faces here because it's a pretty like slow moment. You can stand to like linger on like the same subject for like 3 panels. 4 might be pushing it, but I do like here. It's like you can kind of see what I mean by like kind of storyboarded, kind of not, but it's like, you know, it's like a turn here and then a turn here, and then you know, moving the shot around and everything, moving the camera, and then of course he looks like more excited here to see like what they're talking about. So if you go back here, it's like they're sitting like that. So it's like the body is still turned away, but as soon as like something is like really interesting, it's like, okay, we're gonna turn like the whole thing now. And this is just sort of like from that same sort of like, if the camera was over here, like on this side of the 2 characters, it's like, okay, well now like the glance is sort of like casting like this way. And it goes on. I like this setup here because it's like a really, I think it's like a really cool shot. I'm probably just gonna like copy paste some art on here because I don't, oh. Jimmy moves. You know, he used to like really not like being a lap dog, but after a while, he decided sitting on laps is great. He's quite a big Shih Tzu, actually. Every time I see other Shih Tzus, they're always smaller than him. He's quite large for a Shih Tzu. But yeah, I like this too. Again, just very like you can see like what's going on. I always like stuff like this to show like a little bit of pain. I think it's like a cool effect because the thing with like the wrist injuries too is that a lot of it is like very like internal because it's like on like the bones and the everything else in there. So I think this is just like a good representation of how it feels. Like it's sort of that sharp pain, and I did look a little bit into carpal tunnel. I don't know what's wrong with my wrist. I'm not sure if it's carpal tunnel, I'm not sure if it's arthritis, but it's one of them, at least. And one of the things with carpal tunnel was like a loss in like strength of grip, so I did want to draw like the pen falling, and then like sort of like a flash forward to the actual Stardew stuff. Johnny also offered to do like the background, and I'm like, thank you, Johnny, because I don't know what I'm doing when it comes to backgrounds. And then this was another nice shot. You don't do a lot of like front facing in like comics. Usually it's almost always going to be like 3/4. So this was a fun little practice. I think I did all right. I think it could be a little better. Here he goes. You want to go down? I think he wants to go down now. All right, hang on. Oh, Jimmy. All right. You're going down. Lie down on the floor. Alright. Did I knock my camera off? Oh my god, hang on. Get that fixed. Rip camera. Yeah, big rip to the camera. Yeah, we're back though. Alright. Jimmy's just on the floor now. He got too warm. Yeah. But yeah, back to what I was saying. It's a lot of it is keeping the shot interesting. This right here, I'm looking at it on my circling it on my OBS. You guys can't see my cursor if I do that. There we go. This right here, I do this a lot when my wrist hurts. I kind of like hold it, and it's just like ouchies. And of course, just like back to regular conversation. I like this specific shot right here. I actually did finish this one out. I don't know how I did this, guys. I did this with like 0 reference. You can kind of like tell, especially like right here, but I was just like, the way I did it was like, okay, let me just pretend for a moment. This is my right hand, this is my left hand. Where's my thumb? Because like, you know, if you can't find a reference, the best thing you can do is like be the reference yourself. But if you don't also have like a camera to like see what you're doing, one of my favorite like little tips is things that I do for myself is I ask myself, like, all right, where is this one thing on the screen, or where is this one thing placed? Like, if I'm holding someone's wrist with my right hand, where is my thumb? Because that's gonna tell me where everything else needs to go. The same thing with this hand up here. Like the red here, that wasn't like too bad. It was the rest of this that was the problem. And then like another thing too is that I started with this, so I have to like build backwards. I have to build the rest of the body from like the arm, which is not easy because, you know, I can get away with this, right? I can like loosely like place the shoulders and everything and get a rough estimate of where everything is without drawing the head. Building from the arm, however, like starting there, that was a challenge. That was not fun. I did finish sketching this page. I just didn't. I don't have like an image of it to use right now. And I like this shot up here, because it's very like you can. It's like cool because like you can. It's like you can see him turning, if that makes sense. I know it's a still image, and it doesn't move at all. But it's like the transition from like looking down to like looking over. I think that's like a really cool thing. Movement is so important to me when it comes to art because I don't know how to animate. I would like to animate, but I also recognize if I tried to animate, I think that will surely evict my hand from its arm. So, but yeah, that's sort of the comic process. The comic process also involves like the silliest looking thumbnails imaginable. Like, it's all like very like vague shapes up until I get to like this first sketch that you see here. This is not the thumbnail sketch. This is actually like my first initial sketch. That's what I do for most drawings, but for comics, because I have to like lay it out, I usually do like to do the thumbnails. But yeah, I would love to talk more about comics, but I am gonna end stream early because I do think my parents want to go out for lunch, and I'm just like, I probably shouldn't make them wait till 2:30. I'll make them wait till 1:30 though. So we'll just be ending like an hour early. Nothing too drastic, I think. But yeah. I'm not gonna lie, I've missed doing the comics. I used to do them a lot for Baldur's Gate 3. Like, they were super fun to do. They're very silly. And of course I had like that big one that I sort of like ended on because it was 9 pages and I was losing my mind after that. Not like literally, but it was like, wow, that was a lot of pages. That was like an unholy amount of pages that I just like had to do there. Let me stop the comic stuff for a bit. So I did stop the comic stuff for, actually it's been almost a year now, huh? Now that I think about it, because I think I did the comics back in like April, May, somewhere in that ballpark. Wow. It has been a hot minute then since I've done comics. But yeah. I enjoyed it. Regardless, I enjoyed it a lot. I'm excited to be dipping my toes back into it again. I also shouldn't have rubbed my eye. My contact is messing up. Oops. It's okay, we'll just pretend I have an eye patch for a bit. I'm okay, I swear. But yeah, I enjoy like all of what I do. I hope there's never a day where I stop enjoying it, because that's gonna be depressing. On other news, what else do I want to talk about? I was thinking of saving this conversation for when the actual Elliot romances are happening on stream. But I think I'm gonna talk about it now because it's my stream and I get to do what I want. For some reason, and I can't fathom this like at all. I don't understand why people have such a big problem with Elliot. I didn't realize like he was like such a. I didn't realize he was like so much of the player base had like a problem with him, and I just don't understand why. Kira, I know you said that you've never seen like his hard events before, so I won't get into spoiler territory. But there's just one, maybe two. There's like one scene, there's like one cutscene that people take like such huge issue with. And I'm like, that's literally not even an issue because other characters do similar things in their hard events and you don't give them any flack about it. Don't worry about me. Oh, but I want it to be a surprise for you, so I'm gonna keep it spoiler free still. But it's like, okay, I understand where it's coming from, like, because of how the scene plays out. But like, once again, other characters arguably do the same thing and to worse extents. So it's like, I don't get people's problem. Then they see he's pretentious, and on it, high-key, it doesn't read off to me like that. It's very like, I won't play, I already have a demanding master game. Oh, I see. No, but you'll see it on stream probably. So we'll save it as a surprise for people in chat who haven't seen it. Like, I'll save it for stream. But like, another thing is that people call him pretentious. I'm pretty sure that's just because his portrait is like side-facing, and like that's such a weird like nitpick to have, I think, because it's a still video game portrait. It's not like when he's talking to you, he actually looks like down on you like that all the time. It's literally just like you do character portraits in like a game like that to convey like a very generalized idea of who they are. And I don't find, so it's like it's very like, how should I put it? It feels like there's not a lot of like basis to work on against him. So I don't understand how he's seen as pretentious. Like, yeah, he uses like, he's just a book nerd, exactly. Like, he's like, yeah, he uses a lot of big words, but I think it's admirable. Well, not just, yeah. He's also a writer. We gotta give him credit where credit is due. It's like, I don't care if he uses big words. I think it's neat when people are able to do that and work it into a normal conversation. Because I for sure can't. I would love, like, his level of eloquence, but, instead of using, like, very, like, flowery language, I would probably use, like, vulgarities and other, like, horrible, like, metaphors. Just because I think it's funny. Like, I've gotten, like, decent at it, but I'm not gonna shout it out in stream, because it's usually just when I usually just reserve that for when something greatly upsets me. But yeah, I read him as, like, he's socially awkward, he's kind of a shut-in, he's low-key kind of just like me for real. Because I know for a fact if I moved out to, like, some cabin or anything, it would be in the woods is the one difference. I would absolutely just be in there all day making art. So he's literally just like me for real. I think, but yeah, he's just awkward. He reads as autistic to me, so it's like, I don't understand people's problem with him, and I am glad that my audience, seems to like not hate him, because if I had to sit here and like defend my choices from Twitch chat every time I talked about this, or every time I posted online, I would go insane. Once again, I don't understand the hate. I really don't. But there's still some spillover. Let me clean that up real quick. There was a funny YouTube comment I saw, and it's like, there's two camps of Stardew players. You either love Abigail and hate Elliot, or you love Elliot and hate Abigail. I'm like, that's a little bit of a stretch, but I'm definitely that latter. Not necessarily that I hate Abigail, it's just, again, I feel like it's so frustrating to me, because it's like, I feel like she's like the perfect like romance for me in a sense. Like, I should like, she should be the one character that I try to romance, but she's not. If anything, if anything, she's probably, like, one of the characters I would never go for, because, one, she feels, like, really similar to me, but, like, it's not a good kind of similar. It's very, like, she reads as, like, very, like, childish to me, very, like, young. It to the point where it's, like, it almost feels like she's a teenager sometimes. I know she's not, because she goes to the saloon. But it feels like that, and it just I feel like it'd be very weird to, like, romance her. It's like a younger version of me, and I'm like, that'd be strange. If other people want to romance her, I have, like, no problem with that. It's like, because they obviously see something else. It's just, I see this, and I would be very uncomfortable if I did this. I should try to romance, like, every character at some point, though, just to, like, see. Like, just not a huge Abigail fan at the end of the day. And I still disagree with everyone calling her goth. She's not goth. She's something else, but she's not goth. Also, funny thing, when I was trying to take the color palette for this, it's because she smoked during the Easter egg hunt, huh? No. You know, in my 2 single player files that I touched maybe once in a blue moon, I don't even remember who won the egg hunt. I don't even think she's that hard to beat, is she? Isn't it like you just get more than like 5 or 7 eggs? It's not like the hardest thing to do in the world. My one thing about the Easter egg hunt, it is so frustrating moving around Pelican Town sometimes, because the map geometry, it's like there's like Abigail always wins unless you do. Yeah. I mean, she can win. I like that. I like that she still enjoys, like, these very, like, juvenile things. I think that's an important thing about growing up. It's not losing, like, that sort of, like, inner child of yours. So I appreciate her for that. I can't be mad if she won. I don't even remember if I won or not. I know when we played last stream with Johnny, Johnny ended up winning because I kept getting stuck on the map geometry. Because I swear, like, not to, like, dog on it or anything, but there will be, like, a little, like a really small bush, and it looks like you can walk around it, but you can't, and you end up getting stuck on it. Like, it trips me up so badly, I hate it. And now, if there's anyone that I absolutely have a rivalry with in Stardew Valley, it's Willy. Because that fishing competition that happens in winter, oh, like, you know that I am, like, on top of that. You know that I am, like, fishing as fast as I can. One of the reasons why I lost the last time me and Johnny played through the ice fishing competition was because I kept getting, like, the really tough fish to reel in instead of, like, the really easy ones. And I was just like, bro, what the hell? It was just big upset. It's okay, I already won, like, the year 1 ice fishing competition. It was only fair that Johnny got this one. I do hope that I get to dance with Elliot at the flower dance next stream, because, 1, I think it'd be really funny. 2, I think it'd be such a flex. Like, because his gift list is, like, really, like, expensive, right? But, like, the fastest one I think you can get to is for his loved gifts is lobster. Just because it's so easy to fish in the game, and then you could just get the crab pots right away, and then you could just fill up the crab pots in the community center and get even more crab pots. Like, it's so easy. I think I could do it. There's, like, 2 days left. I just have to be, like, really lucky on, like, drops and everything. And also, you could just get, like, lucky with the trash cans. Like, Gus's trash can, given, like, all the cooking and stuff, like, oh boy. But yeah, I think it would be a flex if I got to dance with him year 1 at the flower dance. And again, I think I could do it. I already got his 2 heart scene, which I think is actually faster than our like little other co-op file. Alright, let's draw the flippies down here, and there's still spillover. Oh yeah, quick question. Would you guys be interested in another stream where I go to compliment your art? Because, Kamui started doing that, or Kira Elric. It's there's 2 Kiras in my audience, and I have to, like, specify which one. He started doing that, and, because I started doing that. I'm like, I wonder if I should do it again. It seems like a fun thing that a lot of people actually enjoy. And I think I might actually try it again. Would you guys like that? Because the other thing too, I didn't get too much response from like people when I was coding everything with the Twitch clip, so I just wasn't sure, like, did I overstep this? Is this something that people like don't want to like see in their thing? Do people hate my voice? Because I know I hate my voice. We've been through this song and dance before. But yeah, if you guys want me to do it again, I'd absolutely like do it again. To offer, but sure. Yeah, that's completely fine. If you want to watch me like gush over like different people's art, that's still like, you know, that's still like a step forward in the right direction. I think it'd be fun, like a fun little Tuesday stream, you know? Also really appreciate that people are like starting to see that like my rendering isn't just like smooth gradients. It is with like a textured paintbrush. I try to make that obvious. It's like, because I actually did used to render with the airbrush before, and I hated it, but I just wasn't ever sure like what to do. Up until I decided experimenting with a different brush. This acrylic brush looks so good. Does it look like actual acrylic paint? Not really. From what I remember, I have like some acrylic paintings up on my wall that I did like a long time ago, but it's so textured, it's so fluffy, it's so nice. And realistically, if I did want to keep everything accurate, I probably would just use it for like certain fabrics, hair, and other things. But my dumb little lizard brain is just like, no, what if you just used it for like everything? And you just like learn the brush and master it over time. And I'm like, yeah, you know, I will use it for everything, even though it doesn't make sense. And here we are. I think it's neat. I love the texture. I never looked back on the airbrush again. It's probably like my least favorite brush in Medibang's default brush library. It's just not that interesting. The airbrush is just not that interesting. It feels very like frustrating to use. I can really only use it for like one thing, and that's like when there's like a strong light source shining on someone, but I'm not drawing the light source, I'm just drawing the light source on them. And even then, it's like, I don't do that kind of art pretty often. What do you think of your prize so far, Kira? You're here, you're watching me do it. I hope I got it right. When I was taking the palette, her skin was very pale, and I was actually struggling to like use it a little bit because it was like, something is off when I use it, but how come it looks right when other people use it? I don't know if it's just my style doesn't like the really pale art styles, but I don't know what it is. And whenever I try to draw like a character with like really light skin, I can like just like, I mean, to take it and to put it into perspective, it was like up here, I think, about there for the original palette. And it just didn't look right when it was on my thing. I don't know if it's like the color profile on the thing or anything, but I had to like I had to saturate it a little bit just so it looked like correct to me. But it is mostly right, you know, just like really a small change. Very nice, thank you. I rarely use the airbrush anymore since my stuff looked too smooth and messy. Instead, I now use 2 textured blend brushes, text in Japanese, so I don't know what it's called. Mood! Medibang is also like in Japanese. Every time I've had to go and like update my software on their website, everything is in Japanese, and I'm just like, well, I know it's Windows, so I'm just gonna click this button right here. We don't translate in this house, we just guess. But yeah, it's not that I don't want to draw really pale characters, it's just I can't get, like, this skin tone, like, right here, just didn't work for the thing. I don't know if it's a style issue, I don't know if it's, like, my color profile is just different, but it wasn't working and I wasn't sure, like, this isn't the first time that that's happened. I don't know if other people, like, struggle with it, because it's like, I don't want to say, like, oh, my art style doesn't work with certain skin tones, because that sounds bad. But at least when I say it doesn't work with certain skin tones, I mean the ones that are, like, really, really, like, pale and, like, all the way, like, almost completely, like, white. Maybe it's just that it just doesn't work with, like, certain colors. It's like, I need, like, saturation in there for mine, I think. It's weird. Because again, it just wasn't, like, looking... It was weird, because when I put it on the thing, to put it simply, it didn't look natural. And I was like, that's... Why doesn't this work? Why can't I just use the original palette? I've had to do that, like, a few times, just, like, tweaking it a little bit, but... It was just, like, an interesting thing, because it's like, I don't get how you people make these colors work and how I can't. Even if it's just, like, a small adjustment that I have to make, it's like, why does it work on their canvas but not mine? Just weird thing. I can't think of an explanation. How long is the Diamond Pearl soundtrack, by the way? Oh man, we still got, like, plenty of time left. But yeah, just a funny little thing. And again, small adjustments, like, really make all the difference for it anyway, so it's not like it was, like, a huge issue, just something interesting that I thought happened, because I don't understand. Maybe what it is that, usually when I do stuff, for myself, everything really is, like, saturated, and, like, I try to, like, stay away from, like, this sort of, like, faded out area, because I just don't think it looks that nice. But I think a lot of artists might actually, like, hover around here still so that their work doesn't look as saturated, but then when they render, I think their rendering looks more saturated, which is what throws me off, probably. Or my color profile is just different, and I don't know why. Maybe everyone else draws in CMYK. I don't know. I tried using CMYK once. I didn't like it that much. I'd show you guys, like, which one it was, but it's on my laptop and not my desktop. I don't feel like grabbing it. But I tried once. I didn't like drawing in CMYK. I thought it was... Like, everything, I like to think that everything about my art style is very, like, bold and loud. Like, I don't hide my line art, I don't hide my rendering, I don't hide my shadows. Everything is very much like, I want you to see everything in my art style. To describe it, like, again, very bright, like, colors, very, well, not bright colors, but, you know, again, very, like, saturated, very not grayscaled, and everything. So, when I tried using CMYK, or it's for extra context, actually, I try to make my shadows, like, really, like, noticeable and dark, for the most part. I think here I just avoided it just to, like, keep that sort of, like, illusion of, like, someone, like, very, like, fair-skinned. But I do try to make my shadows, like, very dark and noticeable, because I think it adds so much more when you do highlights. Like, I push my shadows so that way I don't have to push my highlights as hard, because the shadows will do the work for me at that point. And I think they're more important than the highlights at the end of the day. And, so I like to make my shadows really dark on the thing, and what ended up happening on, this one thing, it was for an Apex zine, for Pride Month, And what ended up happening was I decided like, oh well, you know, if like some people print the zine, I should probably do this in CMYK so people can print it properly, because that's what I've heard. When you do prints, you want it in CMYK, because printers have like a better time like working with it. So I tried that, and the weird thing about CMYK is that like the colors get dark really, really fast. And I don't know how else to describe it, but like if here you still have like a huge like amount of color, in CMYK all of this was basically like towards the black already, like the really like dark part, and you couldn't. Every time I like put the paintbrush down to like color it in and render, it was just like, what is happening? It didn't look that good, and I ended up having to like pull back on the shadows like a lot, which I wasn't too excited for, but it's okay. I put like some nice color filters over it, and the whole thing looked like a really, really nice like pride flag. Maybe I'd be able to find it right now, but it was just I don't like working in CMYK. I think the colors just look off to me, and they look off for a reason because it is a different color profile. But it you know, I like vibrancy. I like when things look very like eye-catching, and I guess juicy is like a really good way to put it. Like if my art tasted like I think if my art tasted like a kind of food, I think it would taste like a Starburst. Like that's my goal, I think, when I do stuff. Is that a weird comparison to make? Like if your art was a food, this is what I think it would taste like. CMYK be like, look at all the black, time to add more. Okay, someone gets me. Someone gets me. Welcome. Welcome. I'm gonna, you know what? Yeah. You know, I will pull up the piece I was talking about, because it's very like I need to show you guys like my issue here. It's old art though, so beware, bewarb. I did this like years ago, I think. Is it 2022 or 2023 that I did it? I'll see on the date just as soon as I get there. I used to be huge into the Apex fandom. I kind of miss it, but I'm also high-key super glad I left. When did I draw this? Okay, yeah, so this was like March 2023. This was my submission for an Apex Pride zine. It looks nice, right? Like I'm still like fairly proud of it today. There's definitely like a lot of stuff I would fix here, like the torso, way too long. What was I thinking? The hands, there could be more definition on the hands. Line art just needs to be thicker. It does look really good. I love the colors, but here's my problem now. Because again, when I did this, I was working in CMYK. This section right here, it's way too dark. You cannot see anything like going on there. Not that there's a lot going on there, because this was still back when I didn't really know how to like add more like clothing texture and everything with my lines. But this is so unbelievably dark. It basically looks black when it's supposed to be blue. The same thing was like happening like down here. Down here it was really hard to color. Just like again, I like my shadows dark because again I think it adds way more to the highlights. But oh my god, this was like if I just moved the color slider all the way down and tried to render like that. Like it looked so it looked so bad without the color filters, I'll put it that way. But yeah, it does the colors are very like pleasing to look at. But yeah, I didn't like drawing in CMYK. Anytime that I need to put something in CMYK now, I just put it I just do it in standard RGB. Put it in like a CMYK profile that I like. That like stays true to the original colors, by the way. I'll show you guys what I mean actually. So we're almost done with the shadows here. So real quick, when I say that I start in RGB and go CMYK. I don't know if other artists do this. I think some of them really do just start off in CMYK, but I can't. I always forget how large this image actually is. So let's go with this, because this one I actually do want to turn into a print, so this one's going to be kind of nice to do on stream. This is just me breaking down all my art process secrets to you guys. We don't gatekeep in the art community. Everyone should grow. I don't understand why anyone would want to gatekeep in the art community. But anyways, let me close all of those first. The nice thing about Medibang is that you don't have to start in CMYK if you want something in CMYK. You can just straight up change it. So I'd like to go here into the color management settings. We choose an RGB profile. I can choose from my different monitors. That's fun. So we'll go with this one, because I think that's like the one that should be the same across both my devices. So we turn on the CMYK proof, and you can see there's just a lot of color that just got like... The ads are on, I should have kept an eye on that. Oops. So you can see that like we just lost a lot of color in the background especially. But it's okay because we can... Okay, well there's usually a longer list of RGB profiles to choose from. But we'll pretend for a moment. So instead what I'll probably do, maybe I'll turn that... Nope, that layer needs to stay on. Which one was it? Maybe this one gets like toned down a little bit. The bright stuff can stay bright because I kind of need to. These are the trees, I think, so yeah. Can turn those down a little more too. That needs to stay up though. But yeah, there's just like so much color loss here. I think I do need to like change this one on my laptop. But yeah, instead of, let me focus on the actual character itself here. So like, I can decrease that a lot to bring some color back. Do the same thing here. Only a little bit, just because like this is actually where like the rendering went. The highlights can stay. You can see we're bringing back the color a little bit. It's that background that's kind of tough right now. And that's mostly what I do. Now you can barely make out the trees in the background. Exactly. Like, I'm not a huge fan of CMYK. Don't save this. I'll fix it on my laptop. I do want that as a print that I can sell at a convention. Yeah, that's my problem with it. But you know, I can like sort of get it there, get it to where I need to be. It's just kind of tough. I don't like working with CMYK like at all. If I had it my way, everything would just be RGB because it's brighter, it looks tastier. Again, this is a weird way to describe my thing. Maybe I am hungry. Maybe it's okay. We're ending an hour early, so I don't keep everyone waiting for lunch. I just didn't think that they wanted to go out for lunch today, or did I think my mom was off of work? Yeah. Also, really cool to see 6 viewers. Hello, everyone. Let's just get the last bit of shadows down here. And then we'll move on to highlights. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to finish this one on stream. We'll see. We'll try and move a little fast here, but it's definitely like, there's definitely still a ways to go, I think. I don't know. Regardless, this is definitely gonna be up tomorrow, and then I'll be working on the other thing that I have planned for the week. Alongside the comic, of course. Because, you know, it's so silly. Maybe people just have trouble gifting Elliot because, they're bad at the fishing minigame. Maybe that's all it is. There's a mod for Stardew that lets you skip the fishing minigame, and I'm like, why would I ever want this? The fishing minigame brings me so much enrichment. It's so nice to see you and we'll talk about your affection for Elliot. Right? I mentioned this a bit ago. I don't know if you were here yet. But I love that my community is very receptive towards Elliot, because apparently a lot of the a lot of the Stardew fan base isn't, and I'm like, what is wrong with you people? This man is hilarious. Like, he's not pretentious. He's just very like eloquent, and I think that's very admirable in a person when they can like use big words in a conversation. And then I get to ask, oh wow, what does that mean? And it's nice if I have to ask someone what that word means, because that's gonna continue to drive the conversation even forward, because I already have trouble keeping a conversation up. I sure hope I've gotten better at it, because I should technically be better at it for stream. And then like, he doesn't think he's better than the farmer. Again, he's just socially awkward and low-key autism coded. He is the best boy. He has, like, I think one of the sweetest heart events, or 14 heart events of all the bachelors and bachelorettes. I think it's, like, such a cute thing. And another thing, too, is that people complain that, like, a lot of the characters, if they have, like, dreams or aspirations, after they get married, they kind of stop going for it. But Elliot doesn't. He has his days where he's like, alright, I'm gonna write today. And I'm like, you do you, sir. You go and write that second novel. I know I'll never see it in game, but he's doing it. But yes, I don't understand the complaints like at all. Sub goal. You are 50% of the way completing my goal. What? When did I get more subs? This was 4 days ago. I don't think anyone has subbed in a bit. I don't want you guys to like sub too. At least not without benefits. I think if I did have like actual benefits towards subscriptions on Twitch, I would actually encourage you guys a little bit, but I don't, and I can't think of any. Because I have like the one like channel point reward where like if you redeem it, I will attempt to teach you guys a phrase in Visaya. But that's kind of it. I don't know what kind of like sub things people have. And I feel like that's for like bigger streamers too that actually have like the platform to do like sub rewards, because I wouldn't know what to do. I don't know, if you get a sub, you get a little thank you doodle from me, and then I carpal my tunnel even further. I can't, like, that's like a huge reason why I can't do art rewards like that. It's like, well, if it ends up getting too much, it's gonna be a big ouchies on my hand. And then there's like also ways to like gift subs, and you can gift multiple subs at a time, and it's like, what am I supposed to do with that then? Is Elliot really disliked that much? I looked him up on YouTube, like Elliot Stardew Valley, just like stuff like that. A lot of the videos are like this. A lot of the videos are like either like in defense of this guy or this guy sucks, and I'm just like, I think you people just don't understand like the subtle, the subtleties of this character. It's like weird that there's like a whole thing about like people think he's like creepy because he takes you out on a boat for like a date, and it's like you two are by yourself, and I'm like, have you people just never experienced romance before? Is it weird that people focused hate on him when Pierre's right there? No, they still hate Pierre. It's just like, if you only looked at the bachelors and bachelorettes on in Stardew and like not anyone else, people really hate Elliot for some reason, and I'm just like, this man is literally so sweet. And he's so silly. Like, yeah, some of his dialogue is a little bit cringe, but I think it's hilarious. I think, genuinely, I really do think he means it, like, ironically sometimes. And he's self-aware about it, too. He's self-aware about, like, all the silly, like, things he does. He's like, I know you might think I'm a bit odd. Like, what is there, that he takes you out on a boat? That he takes you out on a boat by your, like, it's just the two of you. And then he leans in for a kiss. Like, that is their complaint. And it's like, oh, like, it's non-consensual and you guys are alone. And I'm like, other characters do this! And again, arguably to, like, worse Extends, your internet is struggling. Oh my god, Chunky. Yeah, alright. That's completely okay again. Stream's gonna end at 1:30 today anyway, so I don't keep my family waiting for lunch. But yeah, you have a good night. I'm pretty sure it's nighttime for you. Hope your internet, gets better. And I'm like, you guys, like, have you guys just never experienced romance before? Of course, if you live in a small community with jack shit to do, maybe one of the things that you're going to do on a romantic date is, I don't know, take them out by yourself. Emily's 10 heart event has you trapped in a tent with her. Harvey has something similar too. Exactly. And then I saw somewhere that Haley's 10 heart event is she puts you in a dark room and then kisses you without warning. That is, like... just... My issue with the whole thing is, if you are going to hate on, if you're going to hate on Elliot for this, hold the other characters to the same standards too, because now you're just being mean. Now you're just being stupid and unreasonable. But it's like it's so like ridiculous to me. Yeah, she wants you to develop photos with her and then she kisses you in the dark. Yeah, that's really bad. And like if we're gonna call the boat scene bad, we have to call that like really, really bad too. Like, we have to hold people to the same standard. We can't just turn a blind eye because we like the other characters more. And you know what? You know what? I'm gonna say it. I'm gonna say it. The 10 heart events that, if we're going by the logic that the Elliot haters are going with, there's, I'd say, maybe except for Haley's, I'd say they're still, like, in the right for the most part. Like, I haven't seen them, but at the end of the day, it's, hey, let me, like, get some alone time with this person because I want to, like, really, like, confess my feelings to them, yada, yada, yada. Stuff like that. Like, duh, have you people just never experienced, like a romantic date before? And again, it's not like Stardew is, like, it's not like Pelican Town is, like, a bustling community, with, like, a lot to do. Like, of course, you want to be alone. There's gonna be, like, a lot of gossip in this small town. Maybe it's reasonable to want to take the person you're interested in, like, yeah, one-on-one time during a date with a person you like. It's like, wow, you people have never, like, I don't know, it's a weird complaint to have, and again, against, like, one character. It's like, oh, you're in a boat, you can't get away. You're in a hot air balloon with Harvey and you can't get away. I'll take, look, if I want to, I will take my chances swimming if I wanted to get away from someone on a boat, right? I will take my chances. Will I get far? Probably not. But you are not jumping out of that air balloon and surviving. And then, like, the other thing, too, is, I think a lot of the issue, too, is that people are kind of forgetting that this is a game with a story that's very, like, not necessarily unrealistic, but it's a very whimsical game. It's a very, like, it's not super grounded in reality, but it's, like, just a step towards something, like, more, like, fantastical, right? These are common romance tropes in, like, writing. Like, in stories, because, depending on the story, you can hold, like, certain things, like, oh, well, it's just a trope. It's just a common trope that people have, and you can just kind of, like, let it go, because this is not a real thing that's happening. This is a story. This is a fictional story. Like, also, it is the 10 heart event and not the first time you meet him. Exactly! Exactly, and by the 10 heart event, you guys are technically already dating already. I don't understand, like, people's issues. The only scene that I personally have a problem with is the 4 heart scene if you play as a girl. But, like, nothing else about his character, really implies, anything, like, more toxic than that. It's one thing, and, like, the rest of his lines just don't even, like, imply anything bad about his character, so it's like, I only, like, brother, you made the choice to talk to him 100 times and gift him things. Yeah, these are the people who think it's okay to, like, lead on their friend, and then, like, be like, oh my god, why are you interested in me? Like, bro. Like, I was just being nice to you. You were being nice to me, talking every day, gifting me things, giving me the flower bouquet. Isn't there a hard event where you have to hide in someone's bed? Sam's, yeah, Sam's. That is so, like... That one would actually make me, like, so uncomfortable. Like, why is this happening? Like, if I had to put that in real life, that would actually be, like, very, like... Uh-oh. Like, what's gonna happen? Ooh. Not, like, uncomfortable and, like, I need to get out of here. It's like a, oh, I wonder what's gonna happen now. I'm a little on the edge of my seat. Waiting in suspense. Anyways, yeah, the hate is weird. That one is terrible, and doesn't he say, like, I knew I liked you when you stayed? Yeah, that's such a weird thing to say. People love him still. Like, look, if this is your little, like, romance fantasy, that's fine. I couldn't care less what you think, but again, do not hold these standards for one character and not the rest. That's my issue. And again, the only cutscene I have a problem with when it comes to Elliot is the 4-heart scene if you play as a girl, because like, being on the boat doesn't sound too bad now, does it? It really doesn't. I do love kayaking, actually. We used to do that every summer with my cousins. It was so much fun. I miss it. Kind of stopped because it was, like, really expensive to rent the little canoes, but it was a lot of fun. The last time I did it, I was like, usually it's me and Johnny on the kayak. But I was like, oh, let's switch it up a little because my arms hurt. Because if you guys haven't been kayaking or anything similar before, it is what about the 4-heart scene is bad? I don't know that one. Okay, so I'll talk about this one first. The 4-heart scene, you go to the saloon, he's there, and he buys you a drink. And that is the basic gist of it. Now, if you play as a guy, I believe it's implied that he orders both of you beers, but if you play as a girl, he goes, I'll have a beer, and we'll get a wine for the lady. And he doesn't ask you what kind of drink he wants. That is like as bad as it gets. I take a little bit of issue for that. It's like, oh, because just because I'm a girl, you're expecting that I want wine. But that's kind of it. And I guess I guess to be fair, I don't like beer anyways, so it's like, well, I'm not gonna complain too much, but I understand where people would have a problem with that one. Slightly out of agree, but nothing too extreme. Yeah, and like, this man is so, like, comfortable with himself. He, like, it's nice to see, like, a male character who's, like, very comfortable with his own masculinity, where he lets himself, like, not to put these in, like, any type of, like, roles or anything, but it's very nice to see, like, a very, like, masculine character who also, like, takes, like, very good care of himself. Like, he has his line about, like, pomegranate shampoo and everything, and it's like, you wouldn't see that fragrance on, like, Old Spice shampoos and conditioners is what I'm saying. I think it's important to have, like, characters like that, characters who are both, like, very, like, characters who can, like, not swing both ways, that's not what I mean. Characters who just know what they like. He takes care of himself, comfortable showing his emotions, and that is good. Yeah, exactly. I think it's very nice when we have characters who just know what they like, and they don't necessarily fall one way or the other. You don't have, like, Elliot isn't, like, a very, like, manly man, but he also, at the same time, isn't entirely, like, completely feminine either. It's very, very nice to see just someone be, like, just a character that's so comfortable with, like, who he is, and, I don't think we get a lot of that. I think a lot of representation these days likes to focus on, like, oh, well, this character is this, but they enjoy doing this despite. And it's like, a character can enjoy, like, both, you know? I've always had, like, issues with when it comes to, like, writing characters. not a writer necessarily, but I do like writing characters, and I think a lot of my issue with like mainstream media, and this is very explicitly gonna pertain to like the strong woman portrayal in movies. I don't know if this is a controversial thing to say, but I don't think it's controversial because I'm a woman, and I have this opinion. I don't like the strong woman character because so much of that character hinges on the fact that she is a woman, and because she is a woman, like, things will go her way, and I'm like, that is not, like, because it's weird. It's like the flaw, it's like they're trying to make being a woman into both a flaw and a strength at the same time, and I'm like, that's not how that's supposed to work. What you should have done is write a character, a good character, and completely disregard the gender, like, whatsoever. Like, you don't, like, just write a character first and then decide on the gender later. That's all you need to do. Like, depending on the story, and I think this is actually going to be for most stories, the gender of a character shouldn't play too much into, like, their overall arc. It just doesn't make a lot of sense to me. The personality traits, the flaws, and everything should come first. What this character maybe looks like, or what they identify as, should come, like, later, because I think when it comes to writing a story, writing a narrative, telling a story, like, the character comes first. We're in an age where, essentially, I think, where we can focus way less on, like, making a big show of empowerment and just focusing on empowerment through normalizing it. That's what I'm trying to say. Like, there's good representation and there's bad representation, and I think a lot of the bad representation we see now was probably good 10 years ago, but that was 10 years ago. We're in an age now where we don't need to make a big spectacle of things, and things should just be treated like normally. If we want things to be normal, we should treat them as normal. That's what I'm trying to say. There we go. Why did that take me, like, forever to, like, get that out? I don't think that is controversial. You should create interesting personalities and characters that shouldn't require gender or sexuality to be an essential part of it. Yeah, exactly. And I get it if, like, the story that you're trying to tell, if gender and sexuality is, like, an important thing of it, I think, then yeah, that probably does matter a lot. But I think, in today's day and age, you shouldn't be making a big deal if someone is gay or not, because if you make a big deal out of it, then you're implying then that it's not normal, when in reality it is normal, and instead of making it a huge deal, you should just treat it as normal so we can work more towards normalizing it. That's my problem here. And there's a lot of, like, media that is, like, doing a really good job at that, but there's still, like, other things too that just aren't, and it just kind of, like, upsets me, because it's like, you people are missing the point. We have been past, like, making like, a spectacle of things, like, 10 years ago. Just make it normal now. You don't need to go this hard, because when you go this hard, you are actually, I feel like it's more harmful than it is good. Because, you know, we've all seen it before, like, the people who complain, like, oh, this woke media. Like, I agree, the media probably is woke because the people handled it wrong. You don't need to make a big deal of these things. You just, again, treating people like people, characters like characters, and not like, treating characters like characters and treating people like people is probably the best thing that you can do for these groups that need the representation, because, you know, God forbid we continue to, like, make a huge, like, show and display out of it. Like, I don't know, it's a whole thing. I've had this conversation with Clive before, and he agrees. But yeah, but to circle it back to Elliot, I appreciate that he is a character that is just comfortable the way he is. He doesn't go through any, like, major character arcs. He doesn't need to, and it's just, it's nice to have a character who's emotionally mature, whose biggest thing, his biggest struggle is just like, how am I going to like put myself out there because I'm ready to be out there? And I do like that his story feels like very like realistic and grounded. But yeah, the Elliot hate is unwarranted, and I'm glad my community, I'm glad the community is with me on this one, because good lord, the amount of hate is so funny to me and so confusing. I do hope we get to play on Thursday, though. It was supposed to be today, but Johnny is heckin' passed out. Again, I thought he went to bed right away because he didn't come to my room last night, but, he did close last night, and, you know, the store does close, like, at 12, which means he has to get out by 12:30. I think he does actually take one of our coworkers home on Mondays, I'm not sure. So it's alright. It's just odd that instead of focusing on the 11 other dating candidates, just focus on hating one. I mean, they don't just hate him. There is, like, a huge, like, hate for him, though. But I think other people... I know there's, like, a little bit of a dislike for Penny, and I'm kind of on that one just because I don't find her story, super interesting, personally. I think other people have their own reasons for it. But Penny is the other one, and, I see the reason, I see their reason for it, with the whole scene where she just pushes George with a wheelchair, or George in the wheelchair without asking him, and it's like, bro. My thing with Penny is, Penny is there. People really like her, and that's completely fair if you like her, you know. I'm not here to tell you, like, which characters you should, like or dislike. Again, if you want to hate Elliot, you can. It's just, like, you know, don't be a hypocrite about it at the very least. But the Penny hate, I think, is just a little bit more warranted, just because of that one scene with her and George, and it's just like, yeah, there's a conversation here that needs to be had, and I'm not the one to have it. It used to be worse, I know that. And it has gotten, like, a little bit better, but it is frustrating still that, like, you would lose friendship with her if you still sided with George, and, like, there's a conversation that needs to happen here. But at the same time, in my head, it's like, well, this is, like, the realms of a video game with, like, very, like, distinct choices with distinct consequences and outcomes. It's just one more, like, tweak would fix that whole scene. That scene is rough, apart from the fact that she's not much to talk about. Like, look, it's very nice to see, like, a character sort of, like, separate themselves from a very, like, toxic parent, because I get it. Like, I know what that's like. I kind of, like, I low-key kind of, like, live that life, but, like, the difference between me and Penny is that, like, I'm not gonna be, like, upset about it at this point. I think if we watched Penny, like, just come way more, like, out of her shell, stand up to Pam a little bit more, that would have made her significantly more interesting to me. Because, like, I think I think, yeah, I understand the character. She's supposed to be, like, very delicate, very, very reserved, very, very ladylike, but I think there should have absolutely been a scene where, like, she really stands up to her mom and she doesn't, like, falter. Because, Pam absolutely deserves to, like, Pam deserves a stern talking to. That's what I'll say. And Pam arguably does go through that character arc. It's just, it sucks that it's, like, it feels more like she's apologizing to the player, I think, than it does, like, for Penny, in a sense. But I do think, I do feel bad for Penny. It's just, I wish I could be more invested. Also, I'm just not into like the whole trad wife thing. Like, I get that some people are. It's just I'm not here for it. Pam needs a reality check. Yeah, you're not wrong. Something that was interesting when me and Johnny last played Stardew Expanded. Apparently in Pam's trailer, they added a bedroom for Pam, which I think is a really like neat touch on one hand, because it does help their situation out a little bit. But I think I think Pam letting Penny have the one bedroom in their trailer in like vanilla base game is it speaks like huge volumes to her character, because like even though she's kind of a bad parent, she does at least like give Penny like this one like little space to herself in the whole thing. She could have had that, but oh god, Penny truly is a trad wife. I didn't think about that. Oh really? She's like poster child trad wife in the entire game. I'm just not like super into it. Like in me and Johnny's like vanilla co-op file, I just upgraded my house to get like the little baby room because I wanted more space to put all the furniture I've collected, and I'm still not sure if I want to like have kids with Elliot, because one, I hate pregnancy, and I think the only time I was like willing to give my characters a child was Aerie and Astarion, just like in one thing, and I never touched it again. Or I did touch it again a few times, but I don't think I would like expand on it. It's just like, I think I'm gonna remove the crib, because I don't like the idea of me having kids. Like, it's not particularly like appealing to me. In fact, I find it like kind of like ew. Ew, children. So that's kind of where I'm at with it. I think I'm gonna remove the crib and turn the baby room into something else. But I think the only reason why I would is because I do know there's an achievement for it, but it's like, do I want to get that achievement? I don't know. If it's, I'll consider it. I'll think about it, but you know, maybe not. Speaking of like the whole like ew children thing there, it was really funny when me and Johnny were last playing. We play a lot. We usually play like every night when we can. But it was really funny. He was like, "No kids for me either. Thank you very much." Yeah, children are just like, ugh. But Johnny likes to do like a very like, I don't know what kind of British accent it is, but it's a very like silly one. And basically he was like pretending to be like a little like British boy asking like for like food or something like that. And he's like, "Was that convincing, Kyra? Would you give this would you give this British child a little more?" And I'm like, "No, because you wouldn't catch me talking to a British child." And he's like, "Good, that's the correct answer." And I'm like, "Thank you." I don't like children that much. I'll tolerate them, because I know I kind of have to sometimes, especially with my job as a fast food worker. And last night, actually, my one D&D player at the store was like this sort of 10-year-old boy. I'll tolerate them when I have to. Please, sir, may I have a crumb more? The chimneys have been rough. No, get away from me. A tracking XP followed me 7 minutes ago. I really need those like stream announcements. We'll have a stream where I work on like an overlay and everything. How does that sound? I think that'll be very nice, because I would like chat available on the VODs too. Yeah, that was basically what it is, and I was just like, "No, you won't catch me talking to a little British boy." And he's like, "Good, that's the correct answer, Kyra." I think that's all the highlights we would need. It's a very simple palette, which I'm really happy with. Maybe just like a little bit of a thing there. There we go. we just need the rims and the white border. Sounds like a good idea. It is a great idea. Oh my god, yesterday was a little bit of a disaster for D&D. I forgot I was able to actually like run the one-shot last night. So this week's one-shot that I've been sitting on was a little murder mystery. So I had one kid show up, and I was just like, all right, so I'll run this really quick. And we're doing the thing, and I'm doing like my funny cowboy voice because that's where the one shot was taking place. It's in this little town called Ironhoof, which was the most cowboy sounding town name I could come up with. At some point, my computer was low on battery because I'd left it off the charger the night before, and this laptop is like a few years old now, so you know battery's not like super great anymore. And I'm like, oh shoot, I might actually need to rush this because it might die. And then it actually did end up dying, like right at the end of the combat encounter at the end. I'm like, oh thank god I got through it. Yeah. The kid was like super happy though. He was like very pleased with the one shot. He loved he loved the twist at the end, and like he loved the reveal of like who the killer was, and he loved like the twist at the end because there was like a really nice callback to like an earlier conversation. So that was like really like fun to like watch him like put it all together, like whoa. If you want to know the twist, so it was a murder mystery, right? There was a man in town, very nice guy. None of the community had like an issue with him, and one night he was just straight up murked. And so everyone's confused. The police are stumped because they do have the killer's footprints. Did you have coworkers join, or did you do a one-on-one? It was one-on-one, which was interesting because I've never done a one-on-one before. But it was fun. It was fun. But yeah, it was so the person got killed. The police do have like the footprints of the killer because there is a set of footprints leading into the house and into the back window, right? Oh shit. Some of these are on the wrong layer. It's okay. But the fun part about the whole thing was that while they did have the footprints, there was only one set of footprints leading into the house and not away from it. So it was like, how did the killer like do this? How did they get away? Are they still here? And we need to like act fast because we don't know if they're gonna strike again or if they're gonna get away. One of the two, right? So one of the clues that I had was when you talked to the guy who got murdered, because they used like a sort of like resurrection spell to like talk with him. Because Speak with Dead wasn't providing a lot of answers, so they thought like, okay, like a sort of like stronger version of Speak with Dead might help a little bit more. So the victim explained like for a few days he did feel like he was being watched, but anytime he looked, it was only like an animal that was like looking back at him. I'm just on the wrong layers today all the time. It's okay. So that was like a cute thing, but I tried to play it off like very. I'm sure the cat is very innocent. You know what's funny about that? There was actually a cat staring back at him. He describes like, oh, well, I was coming home from the tavern one night, and I had that feeling again that I was being watched, but when I turned around, there was just like a really cute cat just looking at me with these big, like, intense looking eyes. You know, like, as a lot of cats kind of do sometimes. Like, when they look at you, they're really like, you know? And, so it's like, you know, that shouldn't have, like, raised too much suspicion. But when, the players, when I say players, I really mean the player. But when they ask the Tavern Keep, like, hey, did you see, like, any suspicious individuals? Tavern Keep responds, like, oh, well, there was a wood elf who was, here, a night or two ago, and he was asking what kind of local wildlife there was, because he wanted to publish an almanac, and, this was, like, supposed to be, like, a big clue in, like, hey, maybe the killer, maybe there's only like one set of footprints outside the house because it's the only humanoid set of footprints out of the house. So they go back, there are animal prints on the floor, there's like these scratch marks of an animal, just kind of like implying that an animal had climbed up the walls. It was a very, very fun twist. And then at the end of it, the fun part was when this killer had like their whole like villain monologue. So the murder victim, he's accusing this innocent guy in town, like, you killed like my friends, we were just like a little band of thieves, and you slaughtered them right in front of my eyes, and I'm here to like seek vengeance on their behalf. And the funny twist about that is the guy who got killed, that his brother is the adventurer who did that, not him. He has a twin, and it was a very fun twist. The kid enjoyed it a lot, and I will take any shot at poking fun at that kind of like edgy character archetype because I think it's hilarious. And also just has to have like happened at some point. Imagine like you either your family or like a friend got like slaughtered, and you want to go seek revenge on them, and then turns out they have a twin, and you got the wrong one. That has to be like the funniest like twist of events to like happen ever. And I think it's again, the kid like really enjoyed it a lot. I enjoyed like seeing his reactions because it was like, haha, isn't this funny? But yeah. I don't know what I'm going to do for my next one-shot. I know for a Valentine's Day one-shot, I want it to include vampires again, because, what am I going to do? Say no to that? Well, what's better on Valentine's Day than, a lot of blood and a lot of murder, you know? I'm talking like a psychopath. One of these days, I'm gonna get, like, raided on stream. It's like, we finally caught her! I'm like, no! It was all just a joke in Minecraft and D&D. I look on my computer, and one of my D&D one-shots is titled after the Unabomber's manifesto. Because there's something like... Not that I think that there's something wrong with me, but it is really funny that my humor just like leans this way and not like something more conventional. It's okay, the store loves it. But yeah, I don't know what my next one shot is gonna be because I need to save the vampire one for like our Valentine's Day event. I'm thinking I'm gonna bring it back to Ophelian Archipelago, which is kind of like where all the original like world building was taking place. I just don't know what it's gonna be yet. I have one character that I think would be like fun. Okay, that joke. I call them okay, that joke was stupid. No, I love it too. That's so good. Neck romancers. That's kind of true, huh, if you think about it. Like, Astarion in Baldur's Gate 3, for example, is always talking about how, like, you've got, like, a really delectable neck. That sounds like a neck romancer to me. Yeah, I'm thinking I'm gonna bring it back to my original world, the Ophelian Archipelago, because that's kind of where, like, this whole thing kind of started. Just don't exactly know what yet. You know, it's gotta be, like, I balance it for level 1 just because, like, sometimes there's, like, new players. I think the only time I've had it balanced for level 2 was the Druid eco-terrorism one-shot. Why am I like this? Do you guys also, like, commit acts of eco-terrorism in your campaigns, or are you normal? I'm gonna get put on a list one day, that's all I'm gonna say. But yeah, I'm thinking it's gonna be in the archipelago. I just don't know exactly what. Because the archipelago is actually like really like developed compared to like the rest of the world. Because that was the first one I came up with, and it's the one that I sort of continued to build like on and off, just like whenever I felt like it. I think a heist would be fun. It's still doing crime, but arguably not as like egregious as terrorism again. We threw a spoon at a vampire lord and did other chaotic things. In the one I run, no eco-terrorism has happened yet. Yet, I see. But I don't really have a campaign, but I had a murder mystery thingy I GM'd in December. Oh, that's cool. That's fun. Yeah, those are always murder mysteries are fun because it's like it's just a good way to like set stakes so the players don't like fool around too much. The spoon at the vampire lord is very silly. So actually the Tavern Keep in my campaign had a number of suspicious people who had like dropped by the tavern. That light mode is hitting my face. I don't know why Google Drive insists on being like this, but you know what? It works for me because I guess all of my documents are like on the white paper anyways, so. The spoon thing reminded me, in this one shot, there were 3 suspicious characters that the Tavern Keep mentions. It's, where did I leave them? Where did I write this down? There was the wood elf who was the actual thing. The player thought it is called Curse of Strahd. That is Strahd. I know what I have to do. You just casually throws a spoon at one of Forgotten Realms' biggest villains. I think Strahd is a villain, right? I'm like marginally sure that he is. Mostly because like vampires are generally evil, and I can only think of like one good aligned vampire that isn't Astarion. He's not even good aligned, he's technically like neutral evil, I think. Like if you look at his character sheet. Anyways, in my notes here, there were 3 characters that the Tavern Keep mentions. One of them is a necromancer wizard who was asking where she could procure some fresh bodies so she could take with her for studies. And I have it, Dustin, the Tavern Keep, told her to leave, but suspects she likely went poking around the town graveyard. And then the third suspicious character that Dustin, the Tavern Keep, mentioned is, well, there was a kobold who attempted to rob him with a spoon. He didn't bother calling the police on him and just tossed him out the bar. And I'm like, this is the dumbest thing I've ever, like, written. Okay, Strahd is a villain. Good to know. I wasn't entirely sure reading through a little bit of the wiki page, but noted. Someone I knew on Discord for a little bit was playing a Curse of Strahd campaign, and the DM, like, she was playing a changeling rogue character, but I don't think the rest of the party knew that she was a changeling. And the DM absolutely, like, indulged on, like, the whole, like, Strahd romance with her. It was great. Like, it was, like, such a cute thing to, like, watch, especially because I think this was her first D&D campaign. So it's like, ah, this is nice. The spoon criminal. Exactly. I think a kobold robbing a store with a spoon needs to become like a recurring theme in my D&D one-shots now. Just like give me all the cash in your register. And then, like, it's a kobold with like a little rusty spoon, so you just like pick him up like he's a little misbehaving cat and go yeet. Like, scram! Don't you come back here again. I think that'd be like a funny thing if I just kept having that happen. Who is this mysterious kobold character? A romance with Strahd, lucky her. One of our players tried that too, and the DM immediately shut that down with a spray bottle. Oh my god, that is brutal. Oh man, the worst he can say is no. Spray bottle. Oh my god. That's beautiful. That DM honestly deserves an award. DM of the year. Alright. Just about done with the rim lights, I think. We'll just get like a little bit here, just because the light shouldn't be as strong on the waist anymore. Gen 4 soundtrack is so good. My word. No, the bottle was more from the DM personally, because the player has a tendency to like morally ambiguous characters. The only thing that would make that would have made that better is if he had like a foam bat with the words like horny jail written like in Sharpie on it and just went Yeah, that is beautiful. Props to the DM for that. That is hilarious. Part of me is like tempted to like run Curse of Strahd because I got a DM screen for my birthday. Like I bought it for myself, or I think Johnny actually paid some of it. And it is a Curse of Strahd DM screen because I was like, well, I'm not seeing anything with tieflings in it, so I guess a vampire is the next best thing. I don't think she's far from making that bad. Oh, Jesus. Yeah, sounds about right. Average D&D moment. So I got the Curse of Strahd DM screen just because it's like, well, I guess I like vampires. Not as much as tieflings. I would prefer to have like a lot of demons on mine, but this works too. Part of me is just like, I wonder if I should run it one day. I was talking like with the other game store, like my other game store co-workers, and I was just like, what if I just ran like a little like mini like Curse of Strahd thing and we just like filmed that to like advertise D&D at the store? Because like we need to do something to get more people in for the Monday one-shots is the one thing. Strahd is fun, good and spooky atmospheric campaign. Yeah, I would think so too. I think Curse of Strahd would be especially funny just because of like how dark and grim it is. But like my coworkers are absolutely like, we're all like degenerates at the store, so you know it would be, you know it would just get like really silly. And I think adding like the silliness to like what's supposed to be like a very like serious campaign is just like a very like funny thing to do. I don't know, I'm just a very, very silly creature. You guys think Elliot from Stardew would like D&D? I think he would love the shit out of it. I think he would be like one of those people who absolutely like gets into like the character creation in like Baldur's Gate 3. And he has like this whole like elaborate backstory. I think that would be like a very, very funny thing to watch. Speaking of that though, I did actually want to do a sort of like Stardew D&D crossover poster. Soldier Poet King is like the tavern song of TikTok, and considering TikTok was literally only banned overnight here in the States, I was like, well, I can actually make this now and not have to rely on like YouTube Shorts sound library because I haven't touched that yet. Alright, it's the rim light's done, and it is 1:30. Wow, I didn't even notice the time. I'm gonna finish up this thought here real quick before I end stream. So, yeah, so TikTok ban. Realistically, it was like TikTok was offline for 8 hours for maintenance and then it came back. There's like a whole conspiracy that it was like a PR stunt for Trump, and I'm just like, yeah, it might have been. So that's back. It's not, I slept through that bit. Basically, that's basically what happened. Personally, it's not that I'm upset that it's back, it's not that I'm upset that the ban didn't go through, I'm upset that it was even, like, an issue to begin with. Like, why did we make such a huge deal out of this when, realistically, nothing happened? So TikTok is back, and I had a neat idea for a poster. Again, Soldier Poet King from the Oh Hellos, I think that's the whole band name. it's like the quintessential tavern TikTok song, and I thought it'd be cute to draw like a poster of like Stardew, but like as like D&D. So having Abigail as like the soldier in the song, Elliot as the poet, and then I think Haley as the king, or I guess queen in this case, makes a lot of sense in my head. I think that would be like a really fun thing to do. I just have to actually do it. I think I would sell it at a convention too, so that's like a huge one that I want to make sure that I get to at some point. But yeah, looking forward to that. Lots of art on the horizon. I'm just so excited to work on these things. I don't think I'm gonna be able to table at the Renaissance Fair unless I try like really, really hard and be like, hey, can I actually take like a 6-month vacation off of work? But no, I'm not gonna do that. Anyways, next stream is gonna be Thursday. Hopefully Thursday we'll actually be playing Stardew. It's gonna be the nighttime stream, so Johnny should be awake for that. We'll probably, if the trend of him not closing on Thursdays keeps up, we'll probably move the Stardew streams to then, and we'll keep the art streams in the daytime. Yeah, we're gonna end early again because I do think my family does want to go out for lunch, so I probably shouldn't keep them waiting, you know. So looking forward to that. But yeah, I hope all of you have a great rest of your day. I hope I see some more familiar faces, maybe even some new faces on Thursday. Ooh, we got a bunch of them last Thursday actually. And I will see you next time. Bye!